Classic FM 97.3. Good oldies, great times.
With Jimi Disu on Classic 97.3 FM. And like I said, you can listen to past editions of the Discourse on the Classic webpage, classic97.3.net, or you can listen to it on my blog, jimidisu.com. Okay, and of course, remember to tune in every day during the week for Front Page Days, which is another big favorite. Now, Gerald, there's a lady here, Collie, I don't know if she's married, but she says that, talking about the Civil War, that you fought in the Civil War, that she can't see any bruises, and that you look quite fresh. But I don't know whether there are bruises where I cannot see with my eyes. She might be Joseph, sir. Should I? She'll never find out. All right. Okay, sir. But you mentioned something about military rule. Have you ever taken part in a coup, sir?
No.
How do coups take place?
Good question. People have written a lot of books on the Nigerian coup in particular.
Yes.
Yes. So you get into the inside of it. But so a lot of my friends have been involved in the first coup at the three of my classmates.
They never invited you anything?
No, because I was never around. Look, I spent 21 years in the army. I spent 7.5 of it in schools.
Okay.
And that is why I feel indebted to Nigeria as a person. I haven't done that much for me. 7.5 years in school. In military schools, it's expensive.
Yes.
And somehow, most of these schools coincided when.
But is that by share, or is it what Mama did for you when you were young? But you were not there?
It was only once.
Okay.
I got caught in the coup.
Okay.
Just once. It came like a boat from the blues, so I have no idea how it was organized. And our job was to put it down.
Let me ask you, General. Deep inside you, do you think we have seen the last of coups?
Yes, I think so.
You reckon?
Yes.
Well, let me rephrase that question. Do you think we have seen the last of coups, whether successful or not?
I think we have.
Or you hope we have?
Not just hope. I think we have.
You think we have?
Maybe it's a bit too arrogant to say I'm 100% sure. But I'm almost 99% sure that we are not in the region of coups anymore. Where we just have to ensure that our armed forces are up to standard and we stay there.
Could there be like a break in ranks?
The situation
is there a possibility?
The situation in the armed forces have changed a lot.
Okay.
In the past, I'm talking about before 1970.
Okay.
Officers were like just one small corps. Everybody knew everybody else. Most of the too large and army, so we know each other. And people either related from school or from training or from serving in the same unit, and people trusted each other to the extent that we leave my wife with you in your house and go.
Is that true?
That is how the camaraderie was.
Okay.
That started winning. Not just after the first coup, but after the Civil War.
Okay.
And then there were other coups that followed. That changed the dynamics in the army. The personal relationship between officers changed. It got to the point where three officers cannot sit around making a discussion and they may not get themselves into the net of the military intelligence, regardless of what we are talking about. Those are the issues that arose after the Civil War. And very hurried putting together of a very large army to fight that civil war. The aftermath of it was the erosion of this.
But now we've had 20 years of democracy, because we're now veering towards this June 12 issue that we're involved in. But to ask you, you've had 20. Let's take 20 years of the democracy we've had and 20 years of military rule. No, we haven't had 20 years of democracy.
14.
We've had 14. Now. We've had
14 years.
14.
Yeah, 14.
Sorry, sir. I stand corrected. 14. I was thinking of June 12. I took it from there. I forgot that Abacha came in between. But during Abacha's time, did you have any fears that you'd be? I mean, look at what happened to your juniors that you left behind, like Dia and Co. Were you and the Obasanjo, who was also jailed? Did you have any fears at all that anything could happen to you?
So I knew that.
You knew that?
No, of course I knew that. I mean, the indications were there, the reports were there, and it wasn't. And I learned a very big lesson from Chief Anahu, who was a very big chieftain, a very experienced man of Nadepo, who, when he arrested us, took us to the SSS place in Sangisha,
yes.
and we were being interrogated. And he was first, and then Siwadibayo was next. I was also there. After the interview, they released me. They said Abuja said they should let me go.
You don't know why?
I told the people that, look, Chief Anahu is our leader. If he's not I'm going to leave him here, then
yes.
there's no such thing as a. So we can forget about the release. So
you stayed with them?
So he asked for permission to talk to me privately, and they granted it. Then he told me, you are very inexperienced in this kind of this political warfare. You think this is the barracks? You see, it's a mistake. They are letting you go. Go now, because if we don't have people who are free to fight, that will be the end of this whole struggle.
Wow.
So I accepted to leave, and truly, of course, they raided my house 2 days later. I managed to escape.
How did you escape? was it physical escape or was it a game?
You know, when late Gani divulged in Nadepo route, all of us went to his house to quarrel with him, asking him if he knew that that was the last time we were going to use the route.
Do you think we still need the route now?
Who knows?
I need the map. I'm going to need it very soon. But very quickly, we've had 14 years on what we call an civil rule. Has that struggle been worth it in your mind?
Well, I think so. I really think so.
It's still preferable to military rule?
No, the struggle, I thought the struggle
for democratic dispensation.
Ending in civil rule.
In civil rule, yes.
So, because we have to use these words a bit carefully, democracy and civil rule, I don't think they're the same thing.
What can you explain? What is democracy, what is civil rule?
We have got civil rule because we have civilians in the service. The army is doing his job in the barracks.
Really?
Now, but the real democracy is not, it's some destination somewhere, a sea far away, and we have to keep working.
Do you see anything in the horizon that encourages you to believe that Nigeria will have a democratic dispensation at some point?
Yes. If you know that during military regime, of course, we couldn't gather here and be discussing anything, not even politics.
Yes.
Somebody can block the door and take all of us to jail or something like that. We are free now, at least, to talk amongst ourselves, to make discussions. We can even though the last time we tried to protest for what we thought was unnecessary escalation of the price of petroleum. This thing which we didn't think was fair. After some time, they rolled out the army and police and everybody to shoot at us and get us out of it. So that is true, but at least we were able to have 1 or 2 days demonstration. We were even able to go to Abuja to go and demonstrate against those who were keeping our president from us, who didn't want us to know whether he was alive or dead. So at least these things are there. I read your papers now, and I listen to a lot of the radio programs and the television programs. You've gone some way in getting some form of freedom of expression. I think that's why I think it is worth it that we at least fought the military to the point of getting to civil. But however, from that point, to me that was the destination. From that point, we will have to get ourselves together now, especially the civil, all the human rights groups, civil society, all the institutions that manage democracy, even the political parties and the rest of them. You have to find a way of assisting to make them really democratic, to make them deliver the goods of democracy. We are beginning to see some glimpses of performance, even from the governors, which you are not too, most of us are not too happy about them. But still, we are beginning to see things. I know Lagos when I came back in 2001 and now. Yes. It's a big difference. And now I went to this and I went to Calabar and I saw some action that which is different from what you see. It's not everywhere, but these small glimpses, we must acknowledge them and encourage them to keep at it. Otherwise, if we just put a blanket kind of mark for all of them, that to say they are all failures, nobody is doing anything, they are all corrupt, they are all thieves and this and that. I think using it in a generic form may not help the situation. So we should have to keep pushing those who are doing well to do more, and those who are not really stay in this democracy. We try to find a way of kissing them out. This is the work of the civil society.
Yeah, but I'd also like to know if the state of the nation as it were now, this government has been in place now for close to 4 years plus. Are you satisfied with the performance of this current government? Are you happy with the way the country is being handled?
Well, what really baffled me sometimes is that you have an Obasanjo succeeded by Maru, Yaradua, and now succeeded by Jonathan.
Yes.
So everybody is trying to compartmentalize its time to say, but it was the same political party.
Exactly.
So, as far as I know, if Nigerians are smart enough, we will judge 14 years, not 2 years of I think we have to smarten up as a people and really try to look at things in the real, the way they look. I am not satisfied that it took us 14 years to still don't have power.
Yes.
Young people have no work and rest of it, yet we have no roads. A lot of villages have no water. Then you were talking about public health is not working, and you are saying that there's no job for young people to do. Your education system collapsed, and you know that this country is not going anywhere without education. So the more we neglect it, it is to our own detriment. Because the young people are not properly educated, they are not properly trained. How can they compete in the world? The world is a global village. So my fear is that if we are not careful, we are going to get colonized in our own land. People are educated, smarter than we are, go around the whole world and they deliver their goods anywhere, from anywhere in the world. We become another colony in
It's threatening. But do you have, all the other political parties seem to want to come together to form a mega party. Do you see any glimpse of hope in that association?
Well, yes, what had happened before is anything to go by. There's a possibility that it can begin to be the beginning of our liberation, in which case people will listen more to the civic society. You remember, although it wasn't by our making, but by military fiat, there were two parties.
Yes.
SDP and then something like that. And the election we had, all those two, was one of the best, freest we ever had, we have in this country. Even if you have a free election today, I don't think you will beat that. Because when you take two Muslims contesting, certainly by our psyche, the makeup of our country, they can't monster. But they did. Not only did they so drum up the opponents that he couldn't have believed. Even if I left, he left in Ghana. So if that happened then, I believe perhaps now that the civil society is going to put its own parties together, if we can have two, maybe some peripheral ones, it's quite possible that we have a titanic battle between them, that people will get more serious about what they tell us to do and what they do when they get there. And that it's quite possible that we'll get a much cleaner election than we'll get it.
You spoke about the June 12 election just now, and I'm wondering if with your military background, you might have an idea as to why Babangida announced that election. Well, the question would be, was it Babangida that announced the election, or was it the military? And you probably have an idea as to why that took place.
I think it was Lyndon Johnson, the American president, on the stage, he said, the box stops there, he put it on the stage. Babangida was the man at the top, so he has to take the blame, he did. But I do know that having been some low-level activists in the political spectrum, that he wasn't alone. I don't think a lot of the elites, especially the ones that are even ruling us now, can watch themselves clean of encouraging him, almost maybe blackmailing him to do what he did. I'm not too sure. I don't have absolute proof, but I do know that I have attended meetings where things like interim government was being discussed, to put into operation. So yes, I think I saw that there were documents that.
But during the struggles, some of your members went and joined the Abacha government. How did you feel at that time? Did you feel betrayed?
In every movement, there are always factions. So
yes.
There were factions who thought that maybe it makes some sense to go and join Abacha because he said he was only going to be there for a brief period and then he will get Abdullah back to the saga. I can vouch for the military side of the movement.
Of the movement, yes.
Of Nadeko, that they were not too sure that was
going to happen.
The
politicians.
The democracy, the majority army. And so people. However, when the organization now find out that this is still not the issue, they did withdraw their name. They asked them to come back. So those who knew, a few of them came back and left Abacha. Some of them stayed back. The consequences were very
we know that. Now, so finally, around that area, there's been this clamor by your group, the 12, the Nadeko group, still acting on this idea of having a sovereign national conference, even though we already have democratic structures in place. And I would like to know your personal view on that. If you feel it's doable, and how.
It is doable. For me, it people always say that, oh, America has 200 million people, they are so diverse, so many ethnic groups there and the rest of it. Why are you asking for a nationality-based constitution to be made by a nationality-based assembly? It's very simple. America doesn't have the kind of organization that we have in Nigeria. The Yoruba man knows his boundaries. He is son of the soil. He has his language, he has his tradition, he has his culture, and different from that of the Igbo man who also has his own place. He knows his land boundaries, and they have their rules and traditions. So does the House of Fulani, so does the Igbo man, and so does the Igbo man, and so on. So to say that you want to make a comparison for America, can't work. So you cannot write off the political sentiments, the deep-rooted cultural traditions of these people. You can't write off that. They have to be good people in their own home first before they can join the other people to.
Classic FM 97.3. Good oldies.